Tejinder, I'm given to believe that the police identified the person who perpetrated the attack as a hybrid militant. Could you explain what that means to our audiences?
See, hybrid module of terrorism is a new module of terrorism which Pakistan-based terror outfits they have adopted in Kashmir Valley. These are the people who don't have any terror record, any criminal record. These are the normal youth who are radicalized or either given money, and then a terrorist gives them a weapon or a grenade to carry out terror attack across Kashmir Valley or to carry out selective assassination. After carrying out the given target killing or the grenade attack, these hybrid terrorists, they return the weapon, either a revolver or other equipment that is given to them to the terrorists, and then they merge into the common society. It is very difficult for the police and security agencies to establish and find out who this hybrid terrorist is, because he has no criminal or terror background. So this type of module has been helping the Pakistan-based terror outfits to carry out selective assassinations across Kashmir Valley. Last night also, a hybrid terrorist who has been identified as Fmr Dy, a resident of Harman Shopian, where this target killing did take place. The terrorist was assigned the task to carry out grenade attack on the place where these two laborers identified as Manish Kumar and Ram Sagar, both residents of Kannauj area of Uttar Pradesh. They were residing. They were working in an apple orchard. They were daily wage workers who were earning their livelihood by plucking and packing apples for the local fruit growers. They were sleeping in a tin accommodation that was set up for them to not only for them to stay but also to keep the stock of apples there. When a terrorist, this terrorist, hybrid terrorist identified as Fmr Dy, he threw a grenade inside that tin accommodation, which exploded, and both of these migrant laborers, they were seriously injured. They, however, succumbed to their injuries while they were being evacuated to the hospital. Right now, their mortal remains have been kept in the mortuary of the district hospital in Shopian. But again, this type of killing has angered the population across the entire union territory of Jammu and Kashmir. But we also see politics being played over the everyday killing of members from the minority communities. 2 days ago, we saw the brutal killing of a Kashmiri Pandit who was living in the Chaudhry Gund area of the same district. After that, we saw yesterday the former Chief Minister of Jammu and Kashmir, Dr. Farooq Abdullah, giving a statement that the target killings in Kashmir Valley will not stop. And within 12 hours after the statement of Dr. Farooq Abdullah, two unarmed civilians, innocents who were earning their livelihood by plucking apples, by packing them.
Just request you to stay with us. We have Dr. Nirmal Singh with us on the phone right now. He was the last speaker of the Jammu and Kashmir Legislative Assembly. He's also a former Deputy Chief Minister of the Jammu and Kashmir. Let's go over to him right now. Sir, thank you so much for joining us this morning on CNN News 18. Sir, another heartbreaking attack that we're sharing with our audiences. What is your response?
It's very shocking that the two innocents have been killed by these cowards who are supported by Pakistan. But I can assure that these people, these terrorists, they won't be spared. They shall be brought to justice. That's very clear.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the society, especially the leaders of Kashmir, they are, justifying the killings. Okay. The former Chief Minister, he justifies the killings.
Sir, if I may ask you, because I do want us to cover, as you're just mentioning, I do want us to cover the political aspect of this. But, sir, I do also want to ask you, time and time again, we bring interviews with the communities that these laborers, for example, belong to, or the attack on Kashmiri Pandits that we talked about 2 days ago. And you hear this continuous demand from locals, from non-locals and also from Kashmiri Pandits, A, that they receive more protection, and B, if that protection isn't possible, that they be moved. Sir, do you not think that their demands are currently going ignored?
I don't know whether you have seen Kashmir Valley or not. The democracy is such, and these laborers, they are working in the rural areas.
Right.
So, so it's not possible to provide this gunmen to everybody.
Right.
But the overall situation is being monitored by the security forces. Our army, these anti-terrorist operations, they continue day and night. But sometimes they succeed. They are resorting to this, you can say, hide and seek and target killing. And they try to give the message to the world over that they are still there, they still matter. So that's the situation. So, but the government is talking out new strategy, how to tackle it. The security force or army, they are on the job. But sometimes they do succeed. But unfortunately, for the last 2-3 days, continuously this violence, these killings are going on, which is not, you can say, acceptable. And ultimately, government has to change the strategy and identify the killers as well as their supporters.
Okay, so sir, you are saying that there is a need for the government in the area to change its strategy.
Yes, definitely, because the Pakistani-sponsored terrorists, Pakistan changed the strategy. They are resorting to target killing. Earlier, they used to come out in the large number with guns in their hands, but now they have activated their sleeper cells, who are sitting amongst the public there. Nobody knows who's who, and they are on their, you can say, on their list, they are the terrorists who have been recruited by Pakistani terrorists. So sometimes they kill.
Sir, I hope it's all right. Sir, if we could just ask you one more question, one last question. I do want to understand from you, let me just very clearly lay out for our audiences, the attack we're talking about today is an attack that took place on non-locals. The attack that we're talking about that took place 2 days ago was an attack that took place on Kashmiri Pandits. And sir, if we talk about that attack, the one that took place 2 days ago, that was the 4th such attack on the Kashmiri Pandit community that we've seen in the last 1 year. The demands of the Kashmiri Pandit community that they be moved out in a cohesive manner. So why are those demands, at least according to the Kashmiri Pandit community, being ignored?
Protection of the people, innocent people, nationalist people, every individual, that's the primary duty of the government. Okay. That's there. But whether that will solve the problem, that won't solve the problem. Ultimately, that's the objective of these the Pakistani terrorists, Pakistan, to show to the world that Kashmir is not so safe for the non-Muslims, for those who are not pro-Pakistani, who are not you can say, these jihadis. That's the strategy of Pakistan. That's why they are resorting to ethnic cleansing of the Kashmiri Pandits on the one hand, and even the Muslims who are working here, non-local Hindus, Muslims, everybody, Sikh, everybody. Whosoever is not favoring them, who is not supporting them, he is being killed. So if the government shifts these people to safer places, then tomorrow they'll change their strategy. Ultimately, the demand shall be raised that the police, Jammu Kashmir police, the non-Muslims in the Jammu Kashmir, even the Muslims of Jammu Kashmir, they have to shift it out. Army has to be shifted out. So,
Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us here on CNN News 18 this